Have you ever felt that something deeper is calling you from within? A voice not of this world, but of your true essence waiting to be discovered? That sense that you're meant for something greater than what your everyday life suggests? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Today, we're embarking on a journey unlike any other, a transcendental voyage to the very heart of spiritual transformation, based on the profound teachings of Emmett Fox. This isn't just another self-help video. It's an invitation to awaken the divine power that has always resided within you, waiting patiently to be recognized and expressed. Has this ever happened to you? You look at your life and wonder why certain patterns keep repeating, why abundance seems to flow to others but not to you, or why, despite your best efforts, true fulfillment feels just beyond your reach. The answer may surprise you, and it lies not in changing your external circumstances, but in awakening to your divine inheritance. The Manual for the New Adam connects the unlimited power of your mind with the universal principles of creation. It reveals that you are not merely a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences, but rather a spiritual being navigating a temporary physical journey. This fundamental shift in perspective changes everything. Stay with me until the end of this series, because what you're about to discover will transform not just how you think about yourself, but how reality itself responds to your presence. Imagine living with the unshakable certainty that the power of creation flows through you, that you are, in fact, God's original plan made manifest, not by accident, but by divine intention. Throughout human history, we've been taught limited versions of ourselves. Religion has often emphasized our flaws rather than our divinity. Society has conditioned us to seek validation outside rather than awakening the Christ consciousness within. But what if everything you've been taught about your limitations is simply untrue? The secrets contained in this instruction manual transcend traditional thinking. They reach beyond intellectual understanding into the realm of spiritual knowing, where you don't just believe in your divine nature. You experience it moment by moment, allowing it to express through every aspect of your life. What if you could reprogram your mind to operate from this higher consciousness? What if your words carried the same creative power that spoke the universe into existence? What if every challenge in your life wasn't a punishment, but an invitation to express your spiritual authority? The journey we're beginning today isn't about acquiring something new, but about remembering what you've always been. It's about removing the veils that have hidden your true nature and stepping into the fullness of your divine inheritance. And as we stand at the threshold of this awakening, I invite you to prepare yourself for revelations that will shake the very foundations of how you perceive yourself and your place in this universe. The new Adam isn't someone you need to become. It's who you already are, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be acknowledged and expressed through your thoughts, words, and actions. You see, we're living in extraordinary times, a period of profound soul awakening when the old paradigms that once shaped our understanding simply no longer sustain us. Can you feel it? That restlessness, that sense that something fundamental is shifting not just in the world, but within your own being? This is the hidden truth behind so much of today's collective discomfort. What appears as chaos on the surface is often the painful birth of a new consciousness. Your soul is awakening to its true nature, and that awakening brings with it a sacred discomfort that cannot be soothed by the old remedies of distraction, accumulation, or external validation. If these teachings on awakening the divine within have resonated with you, there's so much more to discover on this journey. Subscribe to our channel and join thousands of conscious creators who are reclaiming their spiritual authority and transforming their lives from the inside out. Each week, we explore timeless wisdom that cuts through spiritual misconceptions and provides practical tools for manifesting the life you were divinely designed to live. Subscribe now to ensure you never miss the exact guidance you need at precisely the right moment. Your subscription isn't just a button click, it's a declaration that you're ready to step into the truth of who you really are. Join our community of awakened minds and hearts as we journey together toward remembering our divine inheritance. Subscribe now and become part of something greater than yourself, a collective consciousness rising to its true potential, one awakening at a time. Now, I want to go even deeper into this revelation. The manual teaches us that you possess the innate capacity to completely reprogram your mind, not through force or constant struggle, but through alignment with the creative principles that govern all of existence. This reprogramming isn't about positive thinking as a superficial overlay. It's about recognizing that the same power that orchestrates the cosmos flows through you, awaiting your conscious direction. This journey of transformation requires you to make the most significant decision of your life, to act with the unwavering certainty that the power of creation is already in your hands, not as something to attain someday, but as your birthright, your natural state of being when artificial limitations are removed. The principles of the creative mind offer practical tools to free yourself from the past constraints that have shaped your experience. These aren't theoretical concepts, but living keys that unlock doorways to abundance, peace, and wisdom that have always existed within you. Your limitations weren't created by God. They were inherited through unconscious mental patterns that can be dissolved when exposed to the light of truth. The call you feel isn't coming from tradition or religion. It's arising from spirit itself, from that eternal part of you that has never forgotten its source. Even when your conscious mind became entangled in the illusion of separation, this call is getting louder, because the time for remembering has come. If any of this resonates with something you've been feeling lately, write "awakening within" in the comments below. There's more to explore about this profound shift in consciousness. This profound shift in consciousness reveals something extraordinary. The inner call you're experiencing doesn't come from outside yourself. It originates from the very center of your being, from what spiritual traditions have called the inner Christ, the divine spark that has patiently waited behind the masks you've worn, the inherited beliefs you've accepted without question, and the persona you are taught to become. This revelation completely transforms your journey. It means that the guidance you seek isn't found in external authorities or complicated systems, but in reconnecting with this authentic core of your being. The whispers of intuition, the moments of unexpected clarity, the deep knowing that sometimes surfaces, these are all glimpses of this inner wisdom breaking through the noise of conditioned thinking. What makes this manual so revolutionary is its practicality. This isn't abstract philosophy or mysticism that leaves you wondering how to apply it in everyday life. It offers clear, direct instructions for those who recognize themselves as children of God and need to learn how to live from that truth in tangible ways. The breakthroughs come when you begin implementing these principles in your relationships, work, finances, and health, not just contemplating them intellectually. Now, I want to explore one of the most liberating insights from these teachings, the concept of paradise within. The narrative of humanity being expelled from paradise has created a collective wound, a sense that we are somehow fundamentally flawed, separated from our source, carrying original sin. But what if this entire framework is backward? The new Adam wasn't expelled from paradise at all. He simply forgot that paradise was always within. What you carry isn't original sin, but forgotten potential. You weren't designed to suffer through life, hoping for a distant heaven, but to manifest the kingdom right here, right now, through your awakened consciousness. This paradigm shift doesn't just change your theological understanding, it completely reimagines your relationship with existence itself. Behind the scenes of your everyday awareness lies a dimension of being that has never been separated from its divine source. The journey isn't about becoming something you're not, but unveiling what you've always been beneath the accumulated layers of forgetting. If you're beginning to sense this paradise within yourself, even as a faint recognition, type "I remember" in the comments. This remembering is a profound process of dismantling the false ideas that have upheld human limitation for centuries. Each step of this journey systematically breaks down the illusions that have kept you tethered to a diminished version of yourself. Think of these teachings as spiritual archaeology, carefully removing the layers of conditioning to reveal the treasure that was always there. What's remarkable about this approach is that it doesn't just identify these false beliefs. It offers concrete, practical tools to restore divine order in every aspect of your life. The architecture of transformation spans across your mind, your words, your faith, your capacity to forgive, and your experience of abundance. Each of these domains contains hidden leverage points where small shifts in consciousness create ripple effects throughout your entire experience. The revelation that changes everything is that the inner Christ, this divine presence, within emerges naturally when you stop acting from fear and begin living from the power God placed in your heart. This isn't about forcing yourself to be someone different. It's about releasing the grip of fear-based thinking that has constricted your authentic expression. The breakthrough occurs in that precise moment when you choose love over fear, truth over convenience, authentic power over false security. Now, I want to share perhaps the most revolutionary insight of all. You are God's original plan. Let that sink in for a moment. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are imagined, thought of, and desired by God as a perfect, eternal, and deliberate conception within the infinite order of the universe. Your existence isn't random chance or biological coincidence. It's divine intention. This completely reframes your identity at the most fundamental level. The universe wasn't surprised by your arrival. Your specific combination of qualities, talents, challenges, and perspectives was conceived with exquisite precision. You aren't a cosmic afterthought, but a deliberate expression of divine creativity. When you operate from this foundational truth, the entire landscape of your decisions transforms. Your actions become aligned with purpose, not desperate attempts to prove your worth or right to exist. Your relationships shift from seeking validation to expressing authentic connection. Your work becomes not just a way to survive, but a channel for divine expression. If you're beginning to grasp how this perception of yourself as God's original plan might change everything, type divine blueprint in the comments ... This divine blueprint reveals another profound dimension of your existence, your unique divine purpose. Every soul that has incarnated on this earth has done so for a defined reason, with a purpose that no one else can fulfill. Think of it as your distinctive chord in the grand symphony of being. Just as a symphony requires each instrument to play its specific notes, the universe requires your unique expression. This isn't random chance. It follows precise spiritual law. The implications of this truth are revolutionary. It means you don't need to compete with others or compare yourself to them. No one else can play your note in the cosmic composition. The gifts you carry, the perspective you bring, the way you naturally express love, these aren't accidental. They're essential components of a divine design that encompasses all of existence. Now let's address the shadow that has prevented humanity from embracing this truth. For centuries, we've been taught a degraded version of ourselves, that we were born under the weight of guilt and sin, fundamentally flawed from our first breath. This narrative has caused more damage than we can measure, planting seeds of unworthiness that bear bitter fruit throughout our lives. The liberating revelation is that Jesus didn't come to confirm this false narrative. He came specifically to dissolve it. His mission wasn't to save us from an angry deity, but to awaken us to the truth of our divine origin that had been obscured by layers of misunderstanding and control. This is the hidden meaning behind so many of his teachings that religious institutions have often missed or misinterpreted. The transformative invitation before you now is to begin seeing yourself through God's eyes, not through the lens of your apparent flaws or past failures, but through the essence of who you truly are. Within the divine mind exists a perfect idea bearing your name. This idea contains your gifts, your calling, your unique way of expressing good. It doesn't resemble anyone else's. It's not a copy or an imitation. It's not based on comparison or competition. The breakthrough happens when you align your self-perception with this divine idea rather than the limited identity constructed from childhood wounds, social conditioning, and accumulated regrets. This isn't spiritual bypass. It's spiritual clarity that allows you to address life's challenges from your center rather than your edges. If you're beginning to glimpse yourself through these divine eyes, even momentarily, type "I see my essence" in the comments ... This glimpsing of your essence reveals another profound truth. Your purpose isn't something the external world assigns to you or grants permission for you to fulfill. Your purpose is something you offer to the world when you remember who you truly are. So many people spend years searching outside themselves, asking others what they should do with their lives, seeking external maps and formulas. But the divine blueprint isn't found through external searching. It's revealed within, through moments of unexplainable joy, through activities that create a sense of timelessness, through that quiet certainty that needs no external validation. Think about the transformative shift that occurs when you stop asking, "What does the world want from me?" and instead ask, "What wants to express through me?" This subtle mindset reorientation changes everything. Your purpose begins to unfold, not as a desperate search, but as a natural revelation when you align with your authentic center. To accelerate this alignment, Emmett Fox offers a powerful declaration of origin exercise. For 7 consecutive days, affirm daily with deep conviction, "I am a perfect idea in the mind of God. I am not a coincidence or mistake. I am a deliberate expression of love, wisdom, and power fulfilling my divine design." The impact of this practice goes far beyond positive thinking. It's a recalibration of your entire identity at the subconscious level. Now, I want to explore the foundational principle that makes all of this transformation possible. The mind is God's workshop. Every visible manifestation, every external event, object, relationship, or circumstance in your life exists first as an idea. What we call reality is nothing more than condensed thought. Your mind is where everything begins, the invisible workshop where every experience is shaped, designed, and imprinted before it becomes life as you know it. This hidden truth shatters the illusion that you're simply reacting to a pre-existing world. Instead, you're constantly participating in its creation through your dominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. The journey to mastery begins when you recognize that your mind isn't just observing reality, it's generating it. Behind the scenes of every circumstance in your life stands a thought pattern that preceded it. If you're beginning to recognize how your mind has been shaping your reality all along, type "divine workshop" in the comments ... In this divine workshop of your mind, a profound revelation emerges. What you call reality is not some fixed external condition that exists independent of you. It is, in its most fundamental essence, condensed thought. Your physical experience is nothing more than mental patterns that have crystallized into tangible form through the creative power of consciousness. This isn't abstract philosophy. It's the mechanics behind everything you're experiencing right now. Your mind operates as an invisible workshop where every circumstance, relationship, health condition, and financial situation is shaped long before it appears in your physical world. The blueprint of your life isn't drawn up in some external cosmic office, designed in the intimate chambers of your own consciousness. Now, I want to reveal the 2 distinct yet complementary workers operating in this mental workshop. First, there's your conscious mind, the gatekeeper that thinks, reasons, chooses, affirms, and imagines. It has the power of decision, but is limited in scope. Then there's your subconscious mind, the faithful servant that accepts and produces without questioning or evaluating. It doesn't choose. It simply receives and multiplies whatever the conscious mind impresses upon it. This dynamic explains why affirmations alone often fail to change your life. If you consciously declare prosperity while your subconscious still holds an image of lack, the subconscious will override the surface affirmation every time. The breakthrough comes when you understand how to align both aspects of your mind around a singular vision. The transformation you seek begins with building what Emmett Fox calls mental equivalence of the good you desire. A mental equivalent is a clear, consistent, and positive image of your desired reality, held with faith, emotion, and repetition until it becomes more real to you than the current circumstances you're experiencing. This isn't wishful thinking or empty visualization. It's the deliberate reconstruction of your inner template from which all external experiences flow. The master key to this process is recognizing that the mind doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you believe you already are. Your current reality perfectly matches the mental equivalent you've been holding up until now, whether consciously or unconsciously. If you're starting to recognize the mental patterns that have been shaping your reality, type "mind creates reality" in the comments ... Now, to apply these transformative insights in your daily life, Emmett Fox offers a powerful mental equivalent exercise. Choose one aspect of your life you wish to transform, perhaps your health, relationships, career, or finances. Then, write in vivid detail what that reality looks and feels like as if it already exists. Use present tense, affirming statements like, "I enjoy perfect health," or "My relationships flow with harmony and love." The crucial step comes next. Visualize this reality daily for at least 5 minutes, not as something you hope to attain, but as something that already is. The revelation that changes everything is feeling it as already accomplished. This subtle shift bypasses the resistance of your rational mind that might argue with future possibilities. When you immerse yourself in the feeling state of already having received what you desire, you create a vibrational match that the universe must respond to. This isn't manipulation. It's alignment with the creative principle that has always governed manifestation. Let's explore an even deeper dimension of this teaching, living from the inner Christ. Many people misunderstand this concept, believing Christ refers exclusively to a historical figure. But the profound truth is that Christ represents a state of consciousness, the presence of God within you, your true self that exists beyond personality, character, emotions, or past mistakes. This isn't religious dogma. It's spiritual science describing the divine essence at your core. This Christ consciousness is not something distant or separate from you. It's not something you need to seek, earn, or become worthy of. It's what you already are beneath the accumulated layers of conditioning and false identity. When you understand Christ as a consciousness state rather than just a person, you recognize your divine identity beyond all temporary aspects of self-personality traits, emotional states, behavioral patterns, even the story of your life. Your journey shifts from trying to perfect your human self to allowing your divine self to express through the human form. The breakthrough comes when you realize this isn't about becoming something new. It's about unveiling what has always been there, like removing clouds to reveal the sun that never stopped shining. If you're beginning to sense this deeper self beneath your everyday identity, type "Christ within" in the comments ... This inner presence, this Christ consciousness within you, waits patiently to be recognized and obeyed to fully manifest in your life. Unlike the ego's frantic, loud demands, the voice of this eternal presence speaks with gentle clarity, without urgency or pressure. There's a profound revelation here. What comes from God always brings peace, even when it challenges you. This is how you can distinguish between your true spiritual guidance and the voice of fear, conditioning, or external influence. The divine directive may ask you to step beyond comfort zones, but it will never create internal chaos. Most people live their lives guided by what is not the Christ. They react from fear, follow human logic without question, conform to social conditioning, and constantly compare themselves to others. They become so accustomed to external noise that they can no longer hear the only voice that truly matters, their divine essence speaking through intuition. Now, let me share a transformative insight about the practical difference between living from the Christ versus living from the ego. When you're centered in your divine nature, you act from inner certainty rather than external validation. You make decisions from a place of peace instead of anxiety. When the ego wants to attack or defend, you respond with compassionate clarity instead. When your rational mind insists something is impossible, you trust the deeper wisdom that transcends logical limitations. Behind the scenes of every spiritual breakthrough is this fundamental shift, moving from identification with your temporary human story to expression of your eternal divine nature. Isn't about ignoring your humanity, but allowing it to be illuminated and directed by your divinity. To facilitate this alignment, Emmett Fox offers a powerful inner Christ dialogue exercise. Find a moment of silence daily. Center your attention in your chest area, not visualizing or imagining anything, simply bringing awareness to your heart center. Then quietly affirm, Christ in me, guide my mind. Christ in me, speak through me. Christ in me, act in my life. Christ in me, I recognize you. Remain in receptive silence, not straining to hear voices, but simply feeling the subtle shift in your being as you acknowledge this presence. This practice isn't about seeking traumatic spiritual experiences, but creating space for your authentic self to emerge through the noise of conditioned thinking. If you've been sensing this gentle inner guidance trying to break through in your life, type "Inner Wisdom Speaks" in the comments ... As this inner wisdom begins to guide your life, it naturally leads to a profound reclamation of your spiritual authority. This represents one of the most radical shifts in the journey of awakening. The new Adam doesn't ask permission to exist or beg for favors from the universe. He doesn't plead for what already belongs to him by divine right. Instead, he decrees because he recognizes that his word is power in action, directly reflecting his divine likeness to the Creator. This revelation transforms how you relate to life's challenges. Most people pray, like spiritual beggars, imploring, groaning, pleading, "Please God, help me with this problem," or "If you could just give me this one thing ... But that approach fundamentally misunderstands your relationship with the divine. The prayer of spiritual authority doesn't implore it, declares, affirms, and commands, not from arrogance, but from the recognition of your true identity as a divine expression. Now, I want to explore the extraordinary creative power of your words. Man creates as God, creates through thought and word. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. This isn't just a creation story. It's the template for how reality forms. What is spoken with authority and upheld with faith becomes manifest in your experience. The word isn't just communication. It's an instrument of creation that shapes the invisible structures of your life. The revolutionary insight here is understanding affirmative prayer. Unlike conventional prayer that begs for change from a position of lack, affirmative prayer thinks from the solution, not the problem. If you're facing financial difficulty, instead of saying, "I am lacking, please help me," spiritual authority says, "Divine supply flows to me now in perfect abundance." This isn't denying reality. It's affirming the spiritual truth that transforms reality. What makes affirmative prayer so powerful is that it bypasses the struggle mentality that keeps so many people trapped. It creates an inner climate where miracles can unfold naturally rather than being forced. Behind the scenes of every seemingly miraculous transformation is this subtle shift declaring what is true spiritually, even when it's not yet visible materially, and holding that truth with unwavering conviction until form follows consciousness. If you've experienced moments when your words seem to shape your reality, type "creative word" in the comments ... To put this creative power into practice, Emmett Fox offers a profound kingdom establishment exercise that can begin transforming your reality immediately. Write 3 powerful affirmations representing the good you wish to see manifested, one for your body, one for your relationships, and one for your finances. For example, divine health flows through every cell of my body. Harmonious love surrounds all my relationships, and infinite supply meets my every need with perfect timing. Then, for 7 consecutive days, repeat these affirmations each morning and night with a firm, calm voice. The transformative secret is not just in the mechanical repetition, but in feeling these statements as already fulfilled while speaking them. This feeling state is the electromagnetic charge that activates the creative law. Whenever contrary thoughts arise during the day, and they will as your old programming fights to maintain its position, simply pause and mentally repeat your affirmation without struggle or argument. This consistent practice rewrites the subconscious templates generating your experience. Now, I want to reveal one of the most liberating revelations in spiritual understanding, the true nature of what humans call evil. What most people perceive as evil is not an actual force or entity with independent power opposing good. It has no substance, no intelligence, no power of its own. What we call evil is simply a false belief held by the human mind that produces effects only as long as it is sustained through thought, emotion, and attention. This paradigm shift completely transforms how you approach life's challenges. Evil has no real power. It only appears to have power as long as you grant it legitimacy through your focus and belief. It's like a shadow that seems threatening in the darkness, but instantly vanishes when exposed to light. The light, in this case, is your recognition of truth. Behind the scenes of every spiritual healing, financial breakthrough, or relationship transformation is this fundamental principle, the displacement of false belief by truth. Jesus demonstrated this approach consistently. When faced with disease, he didn't analyze its cause or fight against it. He simply denied its reality and affirmed perfect health. When confronted with lack, he didn't accept it as real. He affirmed abundance and watched as manifestation followed. If you've ever experienced a problem dissolving when you changed your perception of it, type illusion dissolved in the comments. This profound approach to handling life's challenges is perfectly exemplified in Jesus' approach to what we call evil. When we study his ministry closely, we see a revolutionary pattern. He never once acknowledged evil as having any real authority or power. He didn't fight against illness, sin, or death as if they were formidable opponents. Instead, he simply ignored their claims of reality or transformed them through the power of his word and consciousness. When faced with disease, he didn't analyze its cause or negotiate with its presence. He declared health with absolute authority. When confronted with death, he didn't accept its finality. He affirmed life as the only reality. When encountering what others called sin, he didn't condemn. He offered forgiveness and transformation. This wasn't magical thinking. It was operating from a higher law that supersedes physical appearance. To implement this transformative approach in your own life, Emmett Fox offers a powerful deny and affirm exercise. Take a specific situation that appears to show limitation, disease, conflict, or lack in your life. Write it down in a simple sentence as your human mind perceives it. I never have enough money, or my health is deteriorating, or this relationship cannot be healed. Then physically cross out that statement with a pen. This symbolic act represents your conscious rejection of the false appearance. Beneath it, write its spiritual truth equivalent. Divine supply flows to me constantly and abundantly, or God's perfect health is expressing through every cell of my body, or divine harmony governs this relationship now. Revolutionary practice comes next. Repeat this affirmation with spiritual authority several times daily, not as a hopeful wish, but as a present reality you're recognizing despite contrary evidence. Now, let me share what may be the most important revelation underlying all these practices. The mental law is always active. In God's universe, there are no dead moments, no empty spaces, no thoughts without consequence. From the moment you wake until you sleep, every thought you hold plants a seed that must, by spiritual law, produce an effect in your experience. Nothing is neutral. Nothing is without impact. If you're beginning to sense the awesome responsibility and power this gives you over your life experience, type law in action in the comments. This recognition of the always active mental law reveals another profound insight. There are no neutral thoughts. Even in moments when you believe you're not actively thinking, your consciousness is still sustaining a mental vibration. Those states of discouragement, quiet resignation, or silent complaint that seem passive are actually powerful creative forces shaping your future experience. The universe doesn't distinguish between intentional thoughts and unconscious mental habits. It responds to both with equal precision. This is why spiritual transformation requires more than just positive affirmations layered over an unchanged mental foundation. It demands a complete renovation of your inner landscape. Behind the scenes of every breakthrough is this hidden truth. What appears as sudden good fortune is often the natural harvest of seeds planted through consistent mental discipline weeks or months before. To accelerate this transformation, Emmett Fox offers a revolutionary 24-hour mental vigilance exercise. For one full day, carry a small notebook and record every negative thought, limiting belief, or complaint that crosses your mind, even the subtle ones you barely notice. Don't judge yourself, simply observe. Then immediately write an opposite affirmation that reflects spiritual truth. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm always running out of time," counter it with, "Divine order governs my day and everything unfolds perfectly." At day's end, review your list to observe your dominant thought patterns. Most people are shocked to discover how habitually negative their thinking has been without their awareness. This exercise isn't about self-criticism. It's about illumination. You cannot transform what you don't acknowledge. Now, I want to share what may be the master key that unlocks all these spiritual principles: intelligent faith. Many misunderstand faith as blind belief, emotional fervor, or desperate hope. But the faith that genuinely transforms your life is something altogether different. It's a deep certainty resting on universal principle rather than changeable appearances. This intelligent faith doesn't fluctuate with circumstances or require external validation. It's an inner knowing that stands firmly on what is rather than what seems to be. While hope looks to the future saying, "I wish it would happen," faith acts in the present declaring, "It is already accomplished." This fundamental distinction changes everything about how you navigate challenges. If you're beginning to recognize the power of your consciousness as the creative center of your experience, type "conscious creator" in the comments. This conscious creator mindset reveals an extraordinary aspect of faith that most spiritual teachings miss entirely. Faith isn't just belief or hope. It's actually higher intelligence operating in the human mind. When properly understood, faith functions as a superior form of knowing that doesn't ask permission from external circumstances, doesn't wait for confirmation from others, and isn't disturbed by temporary appearances. This elevated intelligence stands firmly on principle, while human reasoning gets distracted by constantly changing conditions. Think of it as the difference between someone who only believes the sun exists when they can see it versus someone who knows with certainty the sun continues to shine even when clouds temporarily obscure it. This unwavering certainty isn't ignorance. It's recognition of a deeper reality beyond sensory evidence. Now, I want to explore how to deliberately cultivate this transformative faith. Emmett Fox offers a powerful, sustained faith training exercise that creates breakthrough results. First, choose a specific challenging situation in your life, perhaps a health concern, financial pressure, or relationship difficulty. Then, write out its spiritual equivalent as if it's already resolved. Divine harmony now governs this relationship perfectly, or the exact financial resources I need are flowing to me through expected and unexpected channels. The revolutionary practice comes next. Repeat this affirmation 3 times daily with full awareness and emotional involvement. But here's the crucial element that most people miss. You must then act as if you've already received the solution. This doesn't mean denying practical reality or avoiding necessary action. It means carrying yourself with the inner certainty of someone who knows the outcome is secure, even if the path isn't yet visible. As you implement this practice, record any signs of change, however subtle. These small shifts are early indicators that the mental law is responding to your shifted consciousness. Most people abandon their spiritual practice too soon because they're looking for dramatic, immediate results rather than recognizing the progressive unfoldment that typically precedes complete manifestation. If you're experiencing that subtle inner knowing that transcends physical evidence, type "faith sees beyond" in the comments. As we've explored these profound spiritual truths together, I hope you're beginning to sense the divine power that has always resided within you, waiting not to be created, but recognized. This journey of awakening the divine within is ongoing, a moment-by-moment choice to live from your center rather than your edges. If something within you has resonated with these teachings, if you've felt that subtle inner recognition that transcends intellectual understanding, I'd love to hear from you. Type Divine Awakening in the comments to let me know these teachings have found fertile soil. If you've found value in this exploration of Emmett Fox's transformative principles, consider subscribing to join our community of conscious creators. Each week, we delve into these timeless spiritual truths that have the power to completely transform your experience from the inside out. I genuinely appreciate your support. With a like on this video, it helps these teachings reach others who may be feeling that same inner call you've been experiencing. The journey doesn't end here, of course. There's a video right here that continues our exploration of how to practically apply these principles in everyday challenges. Click and continue with me there as we discover how to move from spiritual insight to lived experience, where your awakened consciousness becomes the foundation for everything you do. Until we meet again, remember you are not a human being having occasional spiritual experiences. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. And in that remembering lies your freedom.